I watched.
Well, other than Richard Simmons passing away and Shannon, I think this was the biggest political event that's happened in my lifetime so far. With the
VP choice.
The VP choice, yeah.
It would have been if
you lived through the Reagan one. This is my lifetime's first attempted assassination.
I also don't. I think Taylor's right. I think the Trump assassination is probably one of the bigger political events of my life too. I mean, obviously the Clinton blowjob thing just drug on and on weeks, and there were trials and the DNA and this woman also, and then on and on, just developing case. He would have been really well served to just come out on the first day and get all that, and then it would have been a much smaller thing. And then obviously Bush Gore, that whole like paying in chads and ballots, like people that are 20 now just don't even know how big of a deal it felt. But this feels weird because not only was it huge, not only did the media have to be drug kicking and screaming to even say the assassination word, they're like, what the FBI is now calling an assassination attempt. And it's like, why don't you call it that? Like we've all got eyes. Like I sent that montage of networks talking about popping noises that made Trump startled and trip and fall, so he had to be assisted off stage. They were doing everything they could to make this about Trump fell. Do you see? There were popping noises that startled him.
So I might be wrong. I didn't see what you're talking about, but I took it as them trying to be careful and not report an assassination report ahead of time and like get it wrong, because you can't pull that back. They asked Biden, do you think this was an assassination attempt? And he's like, I have an opinion, but I don't have facts yet. We're waiting for facts to come out. And to be honest, I thought that was well done. Like when you're the president of the United States, your voice is important. You don't say, it sure seemed like one. I'll let you know. Like he was trying to use his voice responsibly. You don't see the press doing that.
It was crazy, slow moving information for something that was just there in front of your eyes. And some of the, the ones that were like popping noises heard at Trump rally. Trump startled. Like that was the most right wing it got. The rest of them were, like I said, Trump startled and falls at campaign rally. Has to be assisted from stage by Secret Service. And it's like, 30 seconds from now, if you'd waited to print this, you could have just said Trump assassination attempt foiled. Like we all watched it in live, together, the three of us, I feel like in one way or another, whether we were just Googling or watching. I turned to CNN on as soon as Taylor texted me. And it was like right away within, the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it was like, oh, well, okay, there's a guy, you can listen to the audio and you'd be like.
I remember the thing came like 40 minutes later. Am I wrong on that? That the shooter
yeah,
the Secret Service says it on the microphone. The Secret Service says it over the stadium microphone. You know what I mean?
Do they?
Like,
damn.
Yeah, it's like immediately like, I don't want to be like, I called it, but I did. I was like, you can hear like 3 bad people shots and then a bunch of jumbled shots after that. It sounds like the shooter shot 3 or 4 times, and then you can hear Secret Service say, "Shooter's down." And then I think they use Trump's code name, which I don't remember. I think it's Hawkeye though. I think it's Hawkeye or Eagle Eye, something like that, which I think is pretty good. I'm just imagining him all squinty like he gets sometimes. And they were like, "Shooter's down, Hawkeye's on the move," or like that. But the microphone was dangling around and it was a shooting, so the sound guy wasn't turning the PA system off. I just thought that the report rollout was so slow, and Secret Service rushes Trump. I said, "Probably no service." Yeah, bunches of them. Yeah, there's montages of them. But as far as like a historical event, yeah, this is crazy. It's so crazy. Trump has been so crazy as a figure. It's almost like he's an alien who came here to mess with our timeline. The fact that he would get shot by an AR-15 in the ear, like you can see him turn his head just enough that it misses the back of his skull.
Have you seen like all the 3D modeled head turns, like timed with his head turn? And it's like it was a quarter of a second from him.
Yeah, everyone made fun of the assassin's marksmanship, but really it was his bad luck because he was probably on target as he pulled the trigger, like as he
mostly.
Oh yeah, if Trump hadn't turned his head, like he would have died.
Yeah, I guess there was
he had either.
Oh yeah, there was some sort of graphic that Trump was like going to reference, so he turned his head to look at it, and that's what saved his life.
Yeah, off screen there is an enormous billboard, like very, very large, way up in the air, and it's a chart. It looks like a stock chart, but I'm sure it's something about inflation or the economy or Biden in some way. And he keeps looking to that right over and over and referencing it, like you said. And man, he just happens to look to the right, a quarter of a second before the trigger is pulled and that round slides by. And you can see in that one that one photo the bullet going through the air. I don't know if that's the bullet that struck him, but it's a bullet flying past him. I went on to they did the math subreddit, and also, I don't think that was a Canon camera. I think it was a Nikon maybe. But in any case, I went to their subreddit, and they're on there talking about the frame rate or the shutter speed of that camera. And they're like, well, the bullet's going somewhere between 2,000, 2,800 feet per second. The shutter speed is 2,000 whatevers. And it's like, that means the trail is 1 foot long. Then the bullet is going 2,000 feet per second. And it was like, that's pretty cool.
That's
there are
pretty
smart
cool.
people on the internet.
How do they know the shutter speed? I want to know that.
I think these
guys post on a camera forum. They're all about shutter speed. Like, I imagine it's an obsession, right?
But you act like the shutter speed's fixed. It's different all the time, right? They can't. How do they know the shutter speed for that shot? Like I got a camera right behind me. It has 30 different shutter speeds.
That's a good point.
I have no idea.
But I think that they were acting like they knew for a fact the bullet would be going 2,000 feet per second, which is mostly true. I would say like it's close. Like muzzle velocity is about 2,800 feet per second, like right out of the barrel. And to be honest, I've never chronometered around downrange. I've never seen what I know. If you look in a ballistic chart, it's right there. Like there's a table of those pieces of information to go from. But 2,000 it could have been slowed down from 2,000 to 2,800, and that would just kind of fit. I think that's the piece of information they're claiming they know. But all that aside, it's just so weird. It's just like a movie. Like stuff like this doesn't happen in front of a camera with the entire world watching. It's like a scene from a movie that he would be nicked in this. When people get shot, it's terrible. It's gruesome. If you've hunted, you know what bullets do to things. He got shot in that one little place where people can get shot.
It might be my first choice. Like if I can't choose extra long fingernail, I don't have a much better idea.
It's number one. I wasn't even saying fingernail. I was saying number one is the ear. If you're gonna actually like spill some blood, man, I need my toes and fingers and like I guess you could shoot me on like that fleshy part of my ass if you hit me from the side.
That, right? If you're just gonna nick
Imagine
the
sitting
butt
on that
cheek,
though.
that probably heals well. I mean, not for Taylor, but for it could miss Taylor entirely. It could just go through the dent in his butt cheek.
Luckily, my ass was dented. He told the press.
I'm turning to squint at a billboard showing an all-you-can-eat crab buffet. I'm trying to get the address of it, and it slips right through my ass cracks. Yeah, dude, it was crazy to watch. I was just sitting like waiting for dinner, and my girlfriend's like, "What's wrong? You've been looking at your phone for like 20 seconds," and I'm like, "I don't want to say anything, but it seems like Trump just survived an assassination attempt." And like we were at a table, and there were these like boomers at the bar. And one of them was immediately like, "What?" Like just like he was dropping some eaves, as Samwise Gamgee would say, and I immediately like just everything took over. But they didn't turn the news on the TV. It was like Olympic trials. No one cared.
I was at home with the puppers, and I immediately went in and turned the news on and just went channel to channel looking for who was, ahead on the matter. And it was. It was so crazy because they played it over and over. I must have watched it. My girlfriend came home and she's like, "How long are you going to watch this?" And I'm like, "I'll be honest. I think this is a historical event. I'm going to watch this all night long. I'm not going to stop until like everybody goes home." And I did. I watched it till like 2 a.m. until everybody had quit and like, all right, that's all we know for today. I really thought it was like a historical thing that was happening, and it was gonna. Not only does it matter because an assassination on a presidential candidate, Trump, and is going to be such a chapter in the history of in so many history books himself. This is several more pages to tack on, but I think it's going to change the election. Well, not change it, but I think it's going to affect it. I think Trump is going to win so hard. They keep going on about we're within the margin of error in the national polls. We're ahead in the national polls. It's not a popular vote, though. Like, we know it's the Electoral College.
Mhm.
And if you bounce around the state polls, you'll see that Trump is within 1 or 2 points of Virginia. Trump is within 1 or 2 points in Minnesota. And everywhere else, he's ahead. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, I think I saw him losing in some and winning in some. But North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, all
Dude,
of
if he
those,
wins in Minnesota, he wins. Like, I never would have thought.
I don't think he's going to win in Minnesota.
It had
1/3 of Democrats think the Trump assassination is a conspiracy theory, that it's not real, that it's set up.
That's wild.
Fake.
So I was looking
That
at
seems
it
high.
just the political impact. I mean, so you're saying, hey, Trump has this thing locked up, and I'm not ready to disagree. But it has occurred to me, like, the second beneficiary from this is Biden. It has changed the national conversation from his debate performance. It seemed like that was sticking for weeks and weeks and was never going anywhere.
Well, he had that Oval Office address where we solve these problems at the battle box. At the battle box, everybody knows it. It's the right way. We got to find a way to make America, make America, well, not great again, because that's what he's wanting to do. We don't want that. Make it more gooder. We're gonna make America more gooder once more.
I saw that. I saw that clip. I was hoping he said it so bad. That would have been so funny.
He was close enough.
Was close.
He's not able to make a convincing case, not for himself anyway. He needs to hope that Trump makes it for him, and I don't think just hiding in the basement will get it done this time. So I don't really see how he's going to do it.
I want that VP debate now. Now that our guy is a a Yale law graduate or whatever. It seems like he's pretty well spoken. So I would love to see Kamala, who is like asleep to the top, fake and fraud.
That's her technique for winning the debate. She's going to get the other guy to throw it by boning him beforehand.
That's how she got her first political job. So
that's like how CNN would cover it. They'd be like, Kamala Harris bravely jacks off JD Vance for
bravely
America.
blows Vance.
You know what, Kamala? I'm actually experiencing a little inflation right now.
Yeah, I think that if she were at the top of the ticket, which I personally handicap is less likely than I would have a week ago, that the DEI and sleeping her way to the top arguments would find a lot of traction.
That's the only way they can get access to all that money, though. If they were to, so I think it's going to be Biden all the way. But if they needed to replace Biden, it's got to be her, because her name's on the ticket. It was like the Biden Harris ticket, and so that $100 million or whatever it is hers to use if she's on the ticket, but not if she's not. And I also saw Elon Musk as soon as the assassination attempt happened was like, I fully endorse Donald Trump.
Did you see the $45 million?
I'm going to fund a super PAC for $45 or $48 million a month or something like that. Oh my. And at the same time as that news, I'm flicking through my phone and it's like Biden suspends all ads. And I'm just like, yes, this is just what we need. You to stop working and us to get some help. Like it's just not going to spell good for them. It's one of those things that we'll see the effects in the polls, a month from now or something from what happened 2 or 3 days ago. I feel like when Biden campaign stopped running ads and Elon Musk injected $100-200 million into the campaign.
I've followed sports teams before, and it's like, we're on the short list. We're in this conversation of who might win the chip this year. And then all of a sudden your best player gets a knee injury and someone else has a scandal and your fifth best player is out too. And you got a bunch of bench warmers starting for you. That's how this election feels on the blue team now. Like, we were rolling along. Things were going in the right direction. Trump's in debt $5 million, that woman. Now he's in debt $100 million for keep talking about her. Now he's in debt $500 million that he doesn't seem to have because of his business fraud. And everything is coming up in our direction. And then, the freaking Trump stock thing hits and you can't make fun of his lack of liquidity anymore. Well, you know that it's coming, right? And And then just lately, it just seems like L after L after L till you're like, well, maybe next season will be better.
Yeah. Yeah. You can already
Maybe
see
we'll get a
that.
good draft pick.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need a new draft pick. We have an aging star, and it's not working out.
Yeah. Maybe you could trade him. We'll give you Lindsey Graham. A younger, gayer model. Okay, he's made for
would
the
fit
21st
well in the
century.
Democratic Party. He needs to switch.
I'm coming out, y'all.
I was thinking that too.
Come in.
What if what if Lindsey Graham gave like a so over the top, like openly weeping eulogy for Richard Simmons with no other explanation?
He was the best of us all. We are all less beautiful without him in our world. You scum.
No, I think we'd have to like give the Democrats future considerations to even take Lindsey Graham. Like
Okay.
we'd have to throw in, we'd have to sweeten the pot.
I don't know
I
what
need to hear
future
Barron's
considerations really mean.
I don't either.
I thought you were going to explain it to me. It always means like, and I don't know, good vibes. We're going to give you this guy $10 million and good vibes.
We'll hook you up with our hot dog guy. He's great. It's exactly what you've said, Woody. There was a time there where it felt like the news was all bad for Trump and all good for Biden. And then, it just switched. It's like somebody flicked a monkey's paw or found a lamp somewhere to rub and said, it's been one thing after another. And all I see is the left mean side of it because I mostly use Reddit. I have to get off Reddit sometimes because I'm like, man, y'all posted that articles 4 times on 4 different subreddits, and it's all 4 made it the homepage. I know it's Project 2025, baby. I know he's a registered Republican. I know. Like, why can't we make memes about him being a bad shot? Like because he's this or because he's that. Make fun of his goofy looking face and his greasy hair. Ignore the fact that he's wearing Demolition Ranch's shirt because that guy's great. He's got an animal hospital tools that he does. I like dogs. You do something nice for dogs. I gotta like you. Like, come on. There's so much to have fun with here in this story. It's insane that it happened. But meanwhile, you've got people, better luck next time. Why'd you have to miss? You got to learn to shoot better. Or
in fairness, I'm on Reddit too, and I'm seeing like, rumor has it Trump hired the Uvalde Police Department to protect him. I'm like, all right, that's solid.
That's the other thing. Show us Shane Gillis's sister protecting Commander-in-Chief number 45. Show us you talk about. Now, Taylor is a little more far right than me and a little more quick to the gun sometimes when it comes to assuming that something is because of a leftist ideology. So when he said probably a DEI hire, why are there so many women on Trump's detail? I was like, first of all, that chick who like threw her arms around him was doing as good a job as anybody. And she looked athletic. Ponytail chick who's on the stadium with him in that photo. But then I saw this chunky gal who couldn't get her pistol back in her holster, this chick doing a good job. Need her all the way. Look at that chin on her. Hell, I mean, I'm not sure that person doesn't have a penis. That person's getting the job done. And then we got this lady on the left here, and it's like, man, I don't think that you can't do anything. She couldn't get that pistol back in her holster. And you wouldn't mind if they hadn't just shot the president, or the president-elect now, whatever the correct thing to say is. Not president-elect, the Democratic nominee for president. The 45th president maybe is the best way to say it. But she shouldn't be on the goddamn team, frankly. She should be on the bench somewhere, not right here. I don't even like that she's got her gun out, pointed kind of in the direction of Trump. Of course,
didn't you have it in your head that
wait, isn't Trump
I
in
always
the car?
had it in my head that like Secret Service were like even higher than like military. I thought they were like the best of their military team.
How much is I'm sorry,
probably Hollywood.
Let me start over. How much of that is reality? The Secret Service detail. Are they?
Really not a lot.
When I see them on TV, they're just perfect humans in every regard. They're the biggest MMA fighter. They're outstanding shots. They're so diligent. They never, ever, ever take their eye off the ball. They're perfect in every way. I'm like, does that like coincide with reality? Is that true?
Look, they seem super dedicated to their jobs. Like you can't even. I mean, you saw right there when the shots were going off. Those people put their bodies on Trump, and they don't know the situation. All those people are all there as fast as they can to take a bullet for him. I'm more upset about the lady Kimberly, whatever, who runs the entire Secret Service, who's like quoted with her DEI proposals to get the number of colored women up and to get the number of women up to 30% in the Secret Service. And it's one of those things like airline pilots and firefighters and shit, where it's like, can't we do a best of the best sort of meritocracy at the front door that's as colorblind as possible? I don't care if the president's entire detail is Arab American. If they're the best guy or Chinese, have 8 Chinese guys surrounding Donald and be like, oh, you think this is funny? Watch them run their drills. Look how nimble they are. You thought there were, you think there's only 8? There are 10 in that picture, you fool. Like blow my mind.
We've been recruiting out of Circus Delay.
There was just 2 being juggled above Trump into your eyes.
Dude, I know you guys have seen the top-down picture of the whole scene also that shows the rooftops. And like, not to say that I would be qualified as the head of the Secret Service, but if you would have shown me that picture, I'd be like, okay, there's 2 roofs. We gotta have people on both of them. And they're like, I don't know, this one's pretty slopey. I'm like, no, you mean the one roof someone could be on? Yeah, we're gonna have to cover it. Put sticky shoes on or something with grip, a little tacky. Get up there.
It turns out that distance was delegated to the local police force. Like at first I read that on Reddit and I was like, that sounds like horse shit. But then I read it from actual news, as reliable as that is or isn't. And that rooftop was not Secret Service. Also, the Secret Service had their gun on that guy watching him. And they pretty much watched him take a shot at the president, but they didn't I don't know how the decision making makes. Either he asked for permission to shoot and they didn't reply quickly enough, or he didn't ask. I don't know. But he was looking at the shooter through the scope at the time of the shot.
So the crowd saw the shooter 87 seconds or 88 seconds before the first shot was fired. They see him on the roof laying down with a gun, and they're yelling, he's got a gun, 87 or 88 seconds before the first shot. But 20 minutes prior, the police had encountered the ladder rifle wielding weirdo over there by those buildings. They're like, what's up, my man? Having a good day? Hey, we're having a rally over here. You should come see. You can probably get a good van. Yeah, climb up your ladder. You can. You got a scope on there? Perfect. You'll be able to see everything. If you heard this about the Kennedy assassination 50 years from 70 years removed almost now, you'd be like, that's a setup. You're telling me that they didn't, that the book deposit, I'm almost at a Wings of Redemption, that the book depository was off limits to Secret Service, that the local police department in Dallas, Texas during an election year was the ones who was looking after this? No way. Wait. The cops saw him with a gun, and because it was okay to have a gun on the president, they just let him go? What are you talking about?
You want to keep an eye on him at least? Like, if it's okay to open carry, cool, I guess. But this guy should have a cop on his hip the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you hear
if they'd investigated
up the ladder and he pointed the gun at him and a cop went back down? I'm not sure if that's true. Do you know if
that's what I heard too? Everybody was reporting that the cop sort of saw him doing his thing and he pointed the gun at the cop and the cop was like, "Oh, not me, buddy." It's like, what is going on? I always talk about how shitty cops are, and they are, but all it would have taken when they first encountered him was to do the standard cop thing. You don't need to be super cop Murphy Brown. You just got to be, hey, nice to see you today. Can I see some identification? I want to check your ID. Make sure you're old enough to hold that gun, because you're not. He's 20, right? I think he's supposed to be. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a long gun, I think, is 18.
It might be 18. Well, in any case, I'd still.
It doesn't matter how old you are. You can't.
And where's your car at? Oh, it's parked over there on private property, full of bombs. Oh, we should probably go take a look at that car you've got full of bombs, huh? That would have been the end of it there. He had bombs in his car. And whenever you hear bombs, I do not imagine what you see on TV and the FBI, ticking time bomb. That guy had probably nothing. The way that they
firecrackers
call anything a bomb. It could have been, firecrackers and PVC would sound about right. So it looks bad for Secret Service. They're bringing that lady before Congress to answer questions. She's saying, "I'm not going anywhere," of course. And I guess the buck doesn't stop with her. But it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that roof that's 140 yards away, 130 yards away, something like that, is just there to be climbed upon by a rifle wielding guy. I always imagined that, when you see this sort of thing in the movies, there's a movie with Clint Eastwood where he's an old Secret Service agent, and John Malkovich is trying to take the president out. John Malkovich has to kill somebody and steal their identity to get into a room. And then he has a handmade plastic pistol that goes through metal detectors with 2 bullets in it that he has been blindfolded assembling so that he can do it under the table, under his napkin during the benefit. Like, he's donated enough money to the candidate that he knows the candidate will come over and shake his hand so that he can pull off this whole thing. No, all you got to do is climb on top of it. Looked like a rental place where you rent like space to like storage, like a storage rental place. And they talk about the roof being too sloped for them to go up on safely. That was insane. When you use that as your excuse, and we all have fucking eyes, now we're all like, oh, so you are hiding shit. You are lying right off the bat about the reasoning behind this. Who on your team can't handle that roof? Because they're fired now. Just let them know. That's on the obstacle course tomorrow. The slanted roof.
I'm surprised they said that, because, like you said, it's unbelievable on its. It wasn't very slanted at all. I don't know how to describe it in degrees, but I would feel comfortable playing tag on top of that roof. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And the shot that he missed is an incredibly easy shot.
Wait. Okay, so you're a better shot than me. So we might see this through a different lens. I saw it as 140 yards on a headshot, right?
If he's trying that, yeah.
I hit that 10 times out of 10 against a Post-it card or something. But I don't know, a moving head like that at 100. Also, my experience is at 100 meters, not 140 yards. That is farther.
It's awful close. It depends on what kind of optic he had, honestly. But if he had like I don't know if he had a bipod, but I'm telling you, that's a crazy easy shot if you're a okay shooter. It like if you've got a scope on a rifle, and you've practiced for a day, that's the shot that you make every single time. It's so easy.
Because like initially what I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe you couldn't see him from the ground on that roof, and then
pointing at him
of like if a child were hiding in hide and go seek and laying up on that roof, you'd have to pretend not to notice them. You have to be like, where is he? I don't know. Where is he? And it's like, he's on the roof. He's very clearly on the roof.
I think earlier I made the thing too long by saying a few minutes, but I think I am right that the Secret Service watched the shooting happen through their scope. Like, they were lined up on him, which is also why he died like 2 bullets in.
Yeah, thank God he didn't get to continue spraying and then be like, where is he? There's so many people in that crowd. That's just terrible. That's the kind of shot that isn't a impossible pistol shot. It's like I used to set the targets up at 100 meters and like man-sized targets and hit them 9 times out of 10 with my pistol.
I feel like this is me saying swimming 1 mile is incredibly easy. This is not a difficult task. This is akin to walking 4 miles.
Well, see, normally we'd send a guy like you to get the swimming done, though, is also part of it. Like, if like Iran, who it's come out now, they've just told that there's an Iranian plot to kill Donald Trump. This is all happening under that umbrella. This is the level of protection he has under an Iranian death plot. What if the Iranians had sent someone? I bet their guy is your level of swimming and shooting. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy who can get this shit done. He's got his bipod,
Yeah.
I feel like this was if this was a plot from like another big nation, I don't think this is the guy we would have seen.
Well, right? That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm saying is, like, this happened while the Secret Service is operating under the heightened threat arena of an Iranian death plot, and yet that's the team they brought to play. Like that's the protection level that they provided.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so bad. You'd think that Trump, as the de facto nominee, now the actual nominee. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you about money. If it would be like, in the top 5 people protected, right? Obviously, the president is the very highest. After that, I don't know, VP, Trump, president's kids. Like this is the circle we're talking about. So Donald Trump is the nominee. I lost the bet. Would you rather be paid now, or do you want to wait till
Just wait,
and then we'll do? Yeah, okay. So it's kind of doubling up. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That we'll just wait. Plus, you know, it'd be fun to do on the show. I don't know when the election night is, if that falls on an episode, but it would be interesting to do.
It's always Tuesday, right?
Of course it is.
Yeah, I think it is always Tuesday. But they don't get the answers out fast enough.
I'm with Taylor on that.
We might know right away. What if we know like an hour in? Well, that's it. Trump has won the state of New York.
That would be a slam dunk.
It'd be over.
We'll see. Right now, if you're rooting, I'm not rooting for the blue team. I'm rooting against Trump. That's where I am. And if that's where you stand, these are dark days.
I think we all root against Trump getting everything he wants. You know, you hope there's going to be some checks and balances around him. But again, like anytime I start feeling a little blue, whenever I start sliding over the blue side, I just go on YouTube and I fucking watch Ted Cruz and Senator Hawthorne cross-examine Biden judicial nominees on their records. And I haven't seen a male one yet. It seems like he only picks lady judges, and every single one of them has this. They're scared, Woody. Like, I don't know what the consequences of these meetings could be. I always thought it was nothing, that it was just a formality. Like, all right, we got to go take a whooping from the Republicans, but we got enough votes from the blue team, so don't sweat it. Just don't lie. Sometimes these women are trembling. Like they're because they've been caught in lies. It's like, all right, so you lied to this committee, you lied to that committee, and they comes. Ted Cruz was he a lawyer, like a prosecutor or something?
He was an attorney, and he's also a Harvard debate team alumni.
Holy shit! You would not want this man coming after you, would he?
I wouldn't. I would leave.
He'll catch you in a lie, and then he turns around and gives a guy a wink, and that guy puts up a poster board of what you said last week. And it's and it's like it's like it's from the stenographer or whatever, and it's like the official transcript. And he's like, oh, truth, lie. Oh, truth again. Well, which one was it? 4 truths and 4 lies. So, this isn't adding up good for you, Professor. And seems like it's over to me because Trump's got several clocks that he's running against. One of them is his life because he's an older gentleman. He's only got to live so much longer to escape any form of justice. The other one is the presidency because he can just pardon himself for any and all crimes, I would imagine, or he can change laws or appoint judges to make sure that if he is appealed later on, that or these cases are appealed or brought back up or that he'll be legally fine. And I just don't see Trump ever paying for anything. I don't know if they don't do something to get his money back from his fucking civil trial by the time when he's president. Like, I just think it's over. I hope that he's genuinely. We better hope that Trump is more merciful than he is petty. I think that should be everyone's hope right now, is to hope that Donald Trump decides to be a merciful Donald Trump.
He can be pretty petty.
Ken Starr was appointed by a 3-judge panel. I don't know what to make of that.
Neither do I.
Search. Yeah, I don't know.
You say that he's that, but if you look at how he's always making peace with his enemies, especially within the party, I mean, nobody does it like him. His VP was one of his biggest enemies. People like Lindsey Graham were never Trumpers. Now they're there speaking. Nikki Haley, she's there at the RNC speaking either tonight or tomorrow night or something like that. My God, that seemed like they hated each other. And they've gone back and forth because she used to work for him. She was like the ambassador to
the UN, I think.
The UN, I think. Yeah. So it's if anybody's can go above their pettiness, you may have to have like an awkward handshake where he's like, "To the victors go the spoils."
yeah, right. But if you kiss the ring, he might let you back in the circle.
Yeah, just bend the knee. Just bend the knee, baby.
Sure, yeah.
That's all you got to do.
And they will. They'll bend the knee to get back in the good graces because above all, they want their influence. They want to stay relevant in their world of politics.
I was a little disappointed in his bandage, his ear bandage. I kind of wanted
Me too. Jackie and I thought it was it wasn't heroic looking and it wasn't good looking.
Camouflage. I want to camouflage.
Honestly, it was the shape of it that I objected to. If people don't know, just picture a big square bandage like you probably have in your kitchen drawer stuck to the side of his ear.
What if he'd wrapped himself like a cartoon character, top to bottom? With
I was thinking that on the assassination day, like a World War One, veteran or something under his chin.
I was hoping he was going to come out for the RNC like in a wheelchair and then jump out of it.
Oh, if he pulled a Willy Wonka, if he comes out with the cane, very like slow and decrepit, and then he like pretends like he trips, but he does a fucking barrel roll, pops up, and like does a little dance number, like.
I don't think physically he
I might be asking a lot.
It's asking way too much, but if he could do it.
But he could just twirl the cane, maybe, with the hook on it.
If he does like a little bit more of a Mr. Peanut instead of a Willy Wonka, he could.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. He'd look good with the cane. Tuxedo on.
Dude, Kane is
JD Vance. You've won, JD. Run home as fast as you can.
Yeah, I don't. There's not a lot of good news for the blue team right now. The best news for the blue team is that it's 4 months away.
Mm-hmm. Debates in August.
I think it's September, but that's not where we're expecting our good news to be dropped, Kyle. There's not a lot of confidence on the blue team. Wait till next time. I'll get him.
Yeah, fourth time's a charm.
Because even his,
I hope there's a VP debate.
They probably will do one, right?
I would expect
I'd love that.
one, but yeah, no, Kabbalah's not a chump, right? She's a good speaker and she's educated and she's a trial attorney.
Yeah, but she's got a record to defend and he doesn't.
Okay.
Like what's she gonna say? You yourself said this, that, and the other. And then I saw the light. What's taking you so damn long? Why can't you wake up and see what we all see? A bright new future for America that's not dim, slow, and sleepy. Sleepy Joe. All he's got to do is rant at her. Like, talk over.
Zach wrote in here that she agreed to a debate. And I hear you. I don't know. The debates are always a letdown. It's like you listen to the whole thing hoping one guy lands a zinger, like as good as the Reagan one. I won't use my opponent's inexperience against him. Mm-hmm. And rarely do you get that kind of zinger.
Trump does those, though. Like, not only does he get the zingers almost every single time, but just his performance can be interesting because it's not. It was status quo forever, and then he's a genuine, literal wild card, not literal, but figurative wild card, and that you don't know what he's going to say. He's going to throw insults back and forth. I watched his debate against Hillary, one of them recently, and I was like, God, Trump, let her talk. Let her hang herself a little, Trump. Like, because he's just like, she can't get a sentence out. He's just ba-boom, ba-boom, because you're corrupt, because you're a liar, because you're cheap.
Yeah, and that makes him unlikable.
It's too much.
He lost every debate until the most recent one. And this isn't me, and this isn't fucking stupid Twitter polls or whatever. You can see the polling results afterwards, and you can look at like more scientific polls. Until this most recent one. And in my opinion, now this is Woody bias. On a scale of 1 to 100, Trump dropped in like a 38-42. The problem is Biden did a 1.
I thought Trump did okay. I thought that as like an intelligent human being listening to someone and actually trying to learn something, yeah, you're probably right. Probably like a 4 out of 10 because, man, he would just avoid questions. He would just completely ignore them. If they had to, they would ask specific questions, maybe about fentanyl or something, and it would all go back to illegals coming over the border. And it's like, hey, I know they're kind of related, but if you had a little bit of like nuts and bolts here that are specific to fentanyl, if you mentioned some sort of like making sure that prescription drugs weren't prescribed at the current rate so that people don't get addicted, so they don't fall into the arms of illegal drug dealers who sell fentanyl, then if you had some of that, some sort of, if you could display some sort of knowledge and understanding for the problem at whole, I'd appreciate that. But he never does. He's just got, the sentiment. He's just got, they're just letting them into our country and they're bringing this, that, and the other. And it's like, yeah, I know they are, Donald, but back to the fentanyl, please.
I think Donald, we saw 2.5 weeks ago, loses badly to Obama, to Romney, maybe to McCain. Hillary has charisma issues. It'd probably be about the same. But like any of the better debaters, Ted Cruz wipes the floor with him.
He didn't, though.
I mean, I hear you. I think he would have. This is
There
the
was
Donald we
something-
saw 2 weeks ago. He wasn't as good as the one from 8 years ago.
I'll say this about Donald that no one can disagree with. He is lucky. He
Yes.
is a lucky
Born
man.
with a
If
silver
they,
spoon.
genuinely, if things can go the bad way or the right or the good way, it seems like more often than not they go the good way to him. That Republican primary in 2016 is a perfect example. If they just put him and Ted Cruz out there and Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush, I suppose, because he was the fucking front runner somehow, that dweeb.
Mhm.
If they had been out there, the four of them, you'd have been like, whoa, we got 3 pros and a goofball. And they'd have ate his lunch, but you had like 9, 10, 12. They were hanging off the stage. Rand Paul's down there. He's got 1%. He's going to be sliding off that stage soon. You're going to be down there watching. You'll be down there watching, Shorty.
I can't hear you over there.
Yeah. And in that system, he thrived because he was so willing to interrupt and to break protocol that he'd interrupt all 9 people. Like he'd interrupt 8 other people, and then it'd be his turn again. And it's like, holy shit, he's getting 40%, 50%, 60% of the airtime. And it should be, he should only be getting sometimes that I don't remember all their names, but there was like a billionaire in there, maybe. Like maybe there was a lady in there. Jill Stein was in there, maybe. Like there was some like
Whitman
white lady.
maybe was in there. Didn't she?
They'd ask her one question. They asked her, she'd get her opening argument, her closing argument, and one question, and then Donald will interrupt her the rest of the time. Shut up, you cunt. And like she wouldn't get to talk, and it's like I don't know. She sounded like she knew a lot about the economy. That Thursday night was it when they let her talk? You know, they got drowned out.
I think it is Whitman. I know her because she was the governor from New Jersey, and she's a Republican. New Jersey liked her mostly, and I think it makes you kind of a strong candidate when you're from the opposite of your party.
Mhm.
Like if North Carolina, our governor is Cooper. He's a Democrat. If he came in with North Carolina in his pocket, that'd be a big advantage, like from a starting point.
Yeah.
And if she came in with New Jersey in her pocket, like, oh, you're going to flip that? That's like 15 electoral votes. But she just had one big night, and then
my like dark horse is Trump flipping New Hampshire. I don't think it's consequential for the race. I mean, it could be. You know, there are scenarios where it comes down to the Congress voting, the Senate voting. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fucking landslide. I think it could be embarrassing. I hope nothing else bad happens. I'm really scared somebody else is going to do a bad thing at a rally or in an event or something. And I really hope nothing like that happens, because that's really damaging to our system.
To the whole country. Yeah.
Yes. I hope something bad happens, just not violent. I hope Trump poops his pants. That'd be good. That's what we need.
Would you even notice?
I mean, in this scenario, it's noticeable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
I don't know which polling I should trust the most. Historically, 538 is my favorite. And historically, they do a really good job. I know everyone's going to talk about 2016, but if you look at more than just one election, 538 was outstanding. However, it's been sold to Disney. And 538 has Biden winning right now. And I'm like, what do I do with that? That just doesn't vibe right to me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's looking at scroll up to the big part, the part you look at. There's, what am I looking at? 538?
Yeah, this is 538. I was going to say, Woody.
Scroll up. I just looked at it seconds ago. He's like, motherfucker, go to the election forecast. I'm not making it up. They have a winning right now.
You might want to check your phone and see if it's taking you to a specific page or a specific, maybe they change like which voters are being polled, because I look at it. Link. I look at it every single day too. And it's the best he's gotten is 1.9. I've seen Trump ahead by like 2.5.
This is 538's high level prediction. Scroll up so you can, Zach, you're killing me. They have Biden winning 53 times out of 100. And
that's crazy.
I'm like, exactly. Like, I'm not saying Biden's favored. I'm saying I struggle to trust 538.
I think they're over polling somewhere to like make their own numbers, make their algorithms say he wins or something, because
it feels that way. And I'm sorry, I said it already, but Nate Silver doesn't run this anymore. So the good track record that they've established, I don't know how much weight that should carry.
The way I use it is I look at that first page briefly that Zach was where it says Trump's ahead by 2 points. And then I go state by state. And the state I always want to know about is Pennsylvania. I go to Pennsylvania and check it every morning to see if there's a brand new poll that represents either some of Biden's interviews or eventually soon will the assassination attempt. Pennsylvania, Trump's ahead. And like every poll I look at and has been for days, and so, like 5 or 6 points in some polls.
Right now, 538 has Pennsylvania as Biden winning 54 times out of 100 in PA.
So crazy.
Right. And
what are they basing it on? Like, go to the most recent poll in Pennsylvania, though, of like registered and likely voters. And it's like,
yeah. I don't know how they arrived at that, because when I go to their most recent polls, Trump is winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row.
See what I mean? Like
yeah, I do. So
I appreciate your number, and I'm like, oh, how'd they get there? But then I go to this page, and it's like, how did they get there?
right. That's Georgia. Yeah, I don't think the blue team's counting on Georgia this time.
They're hoping for it for sure. But it's weird. It seems like the blue wall that used to exist,
The Rust Belt.
I used to think Ohio was always a thing, and Florida was always a thing, and suddenly those are like gimmies for the red team. It seems.
Yeah, they've gone from battleground states to solid red. It would seem.
Yeah. So I think Trump's going to win in a fucking landslide these days, because this thing has got the red team fucking solidified. They are excited. They are rejuvenated. And the left is like, but he's a registered Republican. Doesn't anyone care? 2025, Project 2025. And then you just hear like the fucking Urukai chanting in unison, 10,000 strong. Fight. Like, I watched that whole boring ass propaganda that the Republican National Convention is. Man, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta be a real fucking red team, jerk my dick off watching Trump kind of boomer to enjoy watching the RNC. They wheeled out every minority group, and like I watched like an hour or two of it last night because I thought Trump was going to speak. He made an appearance. Like, I don't think he was supposed to, but he showed up after he named his vice president, and he and the VP and his son and Tucker Carlson all sat and watched like a couple hours of guests. One of them was like an El Salvadorian immigrant who came in, quote unquote, the right way and worked hard. And she sounded like the maid from Family Guy.
Consuela.
She was Consuela, and her English was all right, but her accent was so strong that you could tell the crowd, and she was trying to crack jokes.
What who was the that slut walk chick with the OnlyFans page? What was that about?
I have seen a lot of stills of someone with a face tattoo talking. Is that
that's Amber Rose. So that's Amber Rose. She's she's one of those figures who's like very in the black hip hop community, but Kanye's ex-wife, but what, she's got I think her head says /bash or something like that. That might be her kids' names or some shit. But she was great.
Her kids' names are Slash and Bash.
Slacisha and Bashir, probably some nonsense. They make it up as they go along over there on the West Coast. That's what I mean. But yeah, she came out and frankly spoke well. She was like, I remember finding out my dad was a Trump supporter and being like, he's a racist. My dad saying, you know what? You go educate yourself about Donald Trump and then come back and tell me when you find the racist stuff. She's like, and I looked. After a while, I started liking this Trump guy, and I didn't find any racist stuff. And each person it seemed the message, and it's a brilliant message, by the way. The message for day one seemed to be, we didn't used to believe. We used to be like you. We look like you, and we used to think like you, but we caught on. We're tired of having an invalid in the White House and pretending like the guy whose policies we don't care for, and any other nonsense that can be made up and thrown at him. You know what? It doesn't stick. Then they brought out a union leader. The Teamsters leader came out. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a tactic that both sides do, and the idea is that you give permission to people to change their minds. So I see the left do it, and they'll have like a military guy in his fatigues saying like, "Yeah, everyone used to be Republican, but I looked at the actual policies, and I'm Democrat now." And here I'm seeing. It's funny that like slut walk is the counterpoint like that. How do we get Democrats on board? Well, let's find this slut walk chick. Slut walk, by the way, is not me insulting her. That's her Instagram handle. It's her like brand. And Amber Rose slut walk. That's how you find her Instagram page. And
Fuck yeah.
and now that's how they give Democrats permission to switch over to the red team. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see it. Like I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
It's more like someone took my bishop. You know, like, all right, yeah. I see it. That's your move.
The race bait open. I know this one. I saw a Trump rally one time where there's a black, you got the microphone guy and he goes over and talks to the black guy who's a counter protester. And he's like, why don't you go over there? He's like, they don't want me over there. And he's like, you sure? Let's go ask him. And they go over there. He's like, he wants to know if he could come and join y'all. Would he be welcome? And all these rednecks are like, come on, brother. Race don't mean shit. And this white lady's hugging him, and he's like, I can get used to this. It's like, there's no way this is real.
There's no way this is
yeah. Is this one of BlackRock videos? Yeah.
So
the
did they not
theory,
lean in to the assassination stuff at all?
He didn't speak.
Yeah. So my way of watching the conventions has always been this, much more mild than Kyle's this year. I like to watch the VP because it's kind of that person's introduction to the national stage. If you're a politics junkie, then you know him. But this is going to be his introduction to most of America. And then Trump, whoever the candidate is, Trump or Biden, also doing his big speech. That'll be interesting to see too. So those are the only two I'm ever interested in. But Kyle's going hard this year.
I'm interested in like the strategy, and even with the VP pick, I think it compounds what I was talking about earlier, how the strategy is, we used to think like you. We used to think Trump was this, that, and the other, but go to trumptruth.org and you'll find out what we found out, and you'll switch sides too. Because the VP candidate was one of those never Trumpers, calling them every name in the book. And I'm sure that's going to be part of what he says. I used to think like you. I used to be, now I'm here on the front lines, shoulder to shoulder with him. That's going to be their move. You got to let one of them go. And it's Israel. Okay. Taylor, if you had to put money on it right now, who you voting on? Do you think it's Trump or a Biden most likely?
Who do I think is going to win?
What do you think? Yeah. Like skew it percentage wise. Like if you had 52, 48, like what do you think the skew is?
Do I have to pick between Biden and Trump, or can I throw a different?
I would ask you to choose between Trump and Democrat.
Disregard
Trump and Democrat? Okay. I'm going to say, 55% Democrat, 45% Trump.
Really? You think Trump's the underdog right now?
I do. Yeah, I think
significantly.
It's a lot of time to pass, and the Democrats can put someone else in. Maybe because I'd rather Trump win. So maybe I'm just being pessimistic and not being realistic looking at it. But
Trump can run.
I'm the inverse of you in every way. I would rather the Democrats win, but I'm 55% Trump will.
Okay. But like I wouldn't be blown away to see either one. Like it doesn't seem like anyone has a big lead here.
I think that Trump hasn't named his VP yet, and as long as he doesn't do anything stupid with his VP pick, I think it's lights out, because the VP debate comes up at some point, right? And Vivek Ramaswamy would wipe the fucking floor with Kamala. Or I keep getting corrected on how to pronounce her name, but I don't mean to disrespect when I call her Kamala. I just thought that was her fucking made up stupid name.
I think it is Kamala.
Kamala's the right Kamala, like the punctuation Kamala.
Camelot.
Anyway, I think Ramaswamy wipes the floor with her. She seems like a little slow to me. Like she can't keep.
Here's
up
what happens
either.
in Woody World: 1% chance of it being right. Kamala does well in the debate against Trump, and Buttigieg wipes out Vivek.
Well, Kamala doesn't debate Trump though. Who does she?
She
debate?
would if she was running for president. That's how.
Oh, you think they're going to pull Joe?
Ooh, she's too unpopular.
Why would they pick her?
Replacement.
Because she has the infrastructure in place. She gets all the money that was currently donated to the same campaign.
Does this involve 25th Amendment like pulling Joe out of office? And
No,
making him
I
the
think
president?
he announces he's not going to run again, and they let him gracefully be a one-term president.
Don't you think that him admitting that he can't continue to run is him admitting he can't go, like fulfill his office right this moment?
Yeah, we already know.
You know what? There were people who make that argument, but you could easily say, I just don't see myself being ready for 4 more years. He wants to spend time with his family. Do some
Heading
crap.
out. You don't have much more left, or you can remember which one's which, Joe. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're seemingly kind of past that point.
It looked bad, man.
You think Trump would end the war in Russia if he got elected?
Yes.
Hope so.
By what? Giving Russia everything they want?
It's like
Or
Ronald
calling them out
Reagan
and being
said,
like,
you can
"Come on,
have
Brusty."
peace and you can have it today. All you need to do is surrender.
Yeah, hopefully he would slow down funding wars all over the planet. That'd be a good win. But I don't even
pesky
have,
freedom fighters.
He's like he's big Israel.
he loves Israel.
He's big
He does.
Israel.
As do we.
He's a huge fan.
He wouldn't pull funding out of that conflict.
I'm trying to point at Taylor. It's so hard with the perspective.
You're so far in the wrong direction.
That's not where you are on my screen.
No, you need to go towards your microphone.
Total opposite. You're pointing like off of the
I'm
sound.
pointing to
He's
where
right
I
there.
see you. I
He's
see
right
you
there.
there.
I got him here.
I see
That's
Harley.
me.
Harley,
No,
right?
that's me, dude.
Woody's
That's
over
you,
there.
Kyle.
That's me. Yo, Masada, if you're listening, dude, I don't know why he's
That's
pointing at me.
I'm one of you. It's just
It is hard. I can do Taylor. He's simple. Kyle's this way. It's really harder than you think.
This is
And there's Jesus Christ. I can't. All right.